All right. Want to introduce the interview?
This is our interview with Them Moose Rush. This album is not their first. They have an extensive back catalog, but once you get into the magic they put into every song, whether it be Easter eggs or odd time signatures, which you will find that we talk all about, their videos are phenomenal, award-winning even. In fact, the one for Them Bones may just be a next one. So enjoy this conversation. We sure did. We talked a very long time. These guys are so interesting.
Croatian version of Sparks.
The-
How do you pronounce your names? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing them right, unlike our review,
My name is pronounced
It was really
Vedran.
fun in the review.
Say it again.
Yeah. My name is pronounced Vedran, like as you can hear. I think I sometimes have like a combination of two English words that can, when spoken, sound like my name, but right now I'm
I got it.
not able to
Yeah.
do.
Vedran. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
Yeah, and mine would be Nicola.
Yours is easy.
Yeah, you're like Tesla. That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like when
Oh,
we do,
you know, Tesla was Nicola, so that's already much more than average people I speak to. No,
yeah.
you know, it's just Tesla for them. They don't know it's Nicola, and it's actually Nicola is like a Croatian and Serbian name, very popular now again.
Yeah, but most people even don't know about the person Tesla. They just know the brand.
Yeah.
Or the car.
The car.
Even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
That don't even get the backstory.
Yeah, they just know the car. They don't exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there are times, especially when we do the extreme metal show, if like we might be reviewing like a band from Turkey, a band from Sweden, and a band from the US. And sometimes we have to go through the reviews like 3 or 4 times before we record them because the names are like, there's no one to tell you if you're saying the name wrong. It's just like,
We even got a band name completely wrong. It started with V. It looked to us like it should be Vlitmas, and the PR person got back to us. He's like, it's Ultimus. We were like,
it's too late to fix that.
I
Great.
also the
Yeah.
nowadays people start using V instead of U
Right.
in the names, so I'm sometimes pronouncing those wrong on purpose because you use the letter you want us to pronounce.
Right. They want that cult look with the V for the U.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you start putting dots above O's. I'm just like, I don't even have that on my keyboard. I don't know what to do right
What's
now.
the O with the line through it? How do I say that? It's just whatever. So
Yeah.
So what is going on in Croatia today?
yeah.
Some rain, some sunshine, Sunday with the
Okay.
family, lunch, just relaxing on our
Yeah,
for
on
me
my
the same.
personal side.
That's good.
Yeah, we're all tired. There's a big festival called the Maryland Death Festival. We're about to go into day 3 tonight. I tell you, I'm too old to do this now. My legs hurt from standing for 7 hours, walking,
we're-
getting a stage to stage.
Big time festival weekend here, So
So it's nice to have a quiet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it ending today or going for a few days?
Cool. It's nice weather.
Yeah, nice weather.
It's hot. It's hot. In fact, it rained last night.
It was kind of nice. Yeah.
And it was actually kind of nice that when it was raining.
Yeah, today's the last day of it.
It was Dismember. It was playing, and they were like, "It's raining." We were like, "We don't care." It was so hot.
Yeah. Yeah, tonight's
Cool.
the big finale. So
And then thank God we have off Monday for Memorial Day because I'm going to need a day to recover.
we're deaf, from 3 days of metal. So yeah.
So we really love your kind of irreverent style. As you
Death
see,
metal.
we also kind of have a irreverent style.
Yeah.
Love the new album. It's always been just the 3 of you. You haven't had to go through lineup changes or anything like that.
No, it's been 3 of us since the band started, so still going strong in the same setup.
Very cool. Yeah. The name of the band, where did the name of the band come from?
Yeah, that's quite unique. I think my internet is.
Nicola is trailing behind.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. It's just it's a little bit
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
delay, but it's fine.
maybe
Okay.
I'd say go
I like
closer to your
effects,
router,
yeah.
but not sure if you are able to have the same privacy then.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite unique for a band to don't go through a lineup changes, for so many years.
Yeah.
We are together for now, I think 13 years, yeah, since high school practically. We met after high school, early college, and we never changed. We never had the need to change practically because we are compatible as people, as friends, and we have this musical chemistry, and we grew together. We tried recently with some keyboards. We had a lady from our same hometown. We are all from the same city, but yeah, she couldn't keep up with I would say our crazy ideas and tempo changes and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we rediscovered, our force as a trio. We rediscovered how logistically it's nice, and how it's there is no problem in democracy. It's not possible to have 50-50 opinions. Somebody's always outvoted, and there are many advantages of a trio. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I asked earlier the name. Where did the name of the band come from? What is them Moose Rush? What is that? Where did that
yeah,
come
it's when we started as a band, there was some kind of inside joke with the mushroom between Nikolai and Branimir. It was some kind of a birthday present joke, and then when were thinking about the band name, it was kind of the mushrooms, and it was our name for I don't know, maybe less than a year, when we realized that when you Google the mushrooms, it's not a good PR for having a band, because now when you Google Demus Rush, everybody's gonna end up on your site. But the current name, and it originated from the same name from the mushrooms, but it's anagram, and other than that, it has no deeper meaning in it. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's good
it's
though, because when you
anagram.
Google that, mostly you just end up with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to add, it's an anagram, but with a flaw. There is one E missing. And you would have to have the mushrooms if you want to have them Moose Rush.
Okay.
But that's really obscure, so sorry for that.
You would say you would have trum because
Right.
E is missing. Trum.
Yeah, we talked to a band from Scotland, Midas Fall, a while back, and one of the girls admitted that the one album they wrote was entirely on mushrooms. I was like, wow, that explains a lot.
Yeah. Happens. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think we had one show as the mushrooms, and I think we were pretty young then. We drew mushrooms on our chest with markers, and we had some crazy wooden stand that had the mushrooms written on it. But yeah, those were the good old days of crazy,
yeah.
crazy young.
So I've seen you guys described as space prog. Would you agree with that? Or what the heck is space prog?
Well, it's hard to explain, but I think space prog is when you have a lot of delay and effects in the music. So we are influenced by one Croatian space rock band. They are called Seven Dead Spells. They
Okay.
are maybe you heard of them, not sure, but they mostly toured Europe and once Japan. But you should check them out. So they are much older than us. They are 10-20 years older than us. But they are one of our influence. And this is where we heard first, how space rock can sound, and somebody put this label to us also. But I think it's just because of some psychedelic moments and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's an interesting style you guys have because I hear space prog and I think the songs are going to be like 12 minutes long, but you guys have relatively short songs. How did you is that a influenced by your local music, or how did you come to these short song lengths?
Um, Actually, we come from that because we hate prog rock. We hate long songs and long solos, but we love this element of uh, changing. You know, the how do you call them? The tempos, the weird
Like tempo changes,
tempos,
right? Right.
tempo changes, time signatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what we took from prog, and but we reduced it to a like punk energy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
and
very interesting
and
style. I
and
like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I also
and
like the
we
fact you
like
get
to we try
16
to make it
songs.
uh,
You get
yeah,
16
that was
songs, not
quite
just one.
uh, it took a lot of cojones to do that, but
Yeah.
it was a little bit on purpose. Usually we make 10 or 12 songs album, but this time and when we throw away, you know, some of the songs, but this time we couldn't agree what were um, the B-sides, you know, what were the B-sides, and we simply
Right.
had too much fight of what to keep and what to discard. So we said, "Fuck it, let's just have everything."
Then
Yeah.
democracy prevailed.
Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
It was 2-1 for
yeah,
keeping all songs or publishing just, I don't know, 10 or 12 of them. So 2-1 were for 16. So there we are. Here we are now.
Yeah,
yeah.
it also seems like, from your videos and your lyrics, it must be a prerequisite, to have a sense of humor to be in this band. Um, you know, do what kind of personality does each person bring to the band?
We are, as Nicola stated at the beginning, kind of three individuals that fit together on everybody's on a different level of their own how to say personality, but that's what kept us going all these years because we are so unique. And when we combine, everybody brings something else, so there's no like overlapping except the music part and creativity. But it's it's fun to work in that kind of environment because you got to trust the other one on some things because they know more about that than you. And like producing our album, the Branimir, the bassist, he mixed it, and we both of us had to give him all of our confidence it's gonna be good. Either and it was his first kind of adventure in that space, but also with the music videos that I created, the guys had full faith in my creative juices and knowledge. So they let me be, for like 2 months, and I come back with a finished product. It's not like typical video producing where the client is having 100 changes over the span of the 3-minute video, and they were just happy from the beginning. And it's fun to work like that because over the years you start to trust each other on in their areas of expertise, and together you enjoy playing music, and the other stuff, logistics, and everybody handles some part of the job.
So it was just you that came up with the
Yeah,
moose
that
and
was
the
quite.
spinning belt and all that? Is that's all you? What brought that idea around for the
The
video?
spinning belt, what?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
you have the video with
It's the cover with the moose and the conveyor belt, and everything's kind of relying on each other. It's a little machine with the
yeah,
moose spinning
where it
on the
spins.
wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can correct word because people tell that we are like one machine, the three of
Oh,
us, and that was the idea behind. They tell us we are a riff machine, you know.
Okay,
Somebody told
yeah.
us this, and this was yeah, that was the inspiration, and this was actually a drawing made by Vedran, like a handmade drawing when we were on tour, and I painted it, and it was like a very abstract, you know. We didn't know what to, well, and it was a present for actually one kid of the organizer of the event where we played. And we liked it so much that after 1 year, we remember this picture, and Vedran created a 3D model out of it, and video. So it represents, you know, all of these colors and this abstract birds. They represent also in some way our creativity. It's very mottled, you know. It's not let's say monochromatic like many of the metal bands have, but we also have some metal elements in our music. So it's the cover is screaming among among many different monochromatic covers. So it's but it's a good representation of our personalities.
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of like if you look at it really closely, none of it could work without the other person doing their part. So I love that representation.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I read somewhere that you guys have Morse code in some of your rhythms and some of your songs. Is that right?
Little Easter eggs of cryptograms.
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
I think that the specific thing you're talking about is at the end of one of our songs. We had like on a piano key, it was just when you translate it from a Morse code, it spells out is it murder or something else? It was a long time ago.
No, it's
No, it
I know exactly the story. It's the song is called Red Rum. It's obviously inspired by the Shining, the movie Shining, and it's but the name like a murder reverse came from the riff, which is na 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 na, and this riff sounds the same if you reverse it. So you could reverse completely the song, and it would the much part of the song would sound the same in reverse, and that was the idea to make this kind of symmetric song, you know. And then we added also in Morse code. We typed in murder also for the on the keyboard, you know.
Yeah.
on the piano. Yeah.
One of my favorites.
So we
Yeah.
do that kind of things.
Yeah, but it's always something that you're not expecting anybody to notice, just for fun. And then
Yeah.
if somebody says, "Oh, what is this thing?" and then you have some kind of funny story, but you don't push it from the start. So there's, I think, a lot of those Easter eggs hidden in songs that we even probably forgot when we were making them. It was fun, and then years on later, if somebody asks, he's like, let me think about it. What was the story behind it?
Yeah.
I love like little clever insider things like that. The only other band I've heard with Morse code was Jagdpanzer, had more in their last one, had a little bit of
YYZ that's the first one.
Yeah.
YYZ, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we from us it comes maybe from some geeky point of view. I would say we all three went through the same high school, and it's mathematical high school. It's science and mathematics in the same city, and we were kind of inspired by mathematics, you know, in some of the riffs. We have one game in Croatia which is called Štoflec. It's about skipping the 7, and it can be a drink game, or it can be, you know, a hitting game. And usually we play if you mess up, the other guy gets beaten up, you know. And it's about skipping 7 and going as fast as possible. So you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you go from beginning again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and then everything which can be divided by 7 or has 7 in it, you have to skip it. And we made a song like with this, da, da, dum, da, dum, da, 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 and then you skip it, and then we try to create some kind of intro out of this. So it's quite funny.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Like it. You guys are kind of been a do-it-yourself band. What kind of have you learned from, kind of trial and error are the best ways like to get a video done? Or you guys are great with your promotional shoots. Like I love that one where, somebody's got their hat over their face and somebody's got their shirt over their head, and it just drags your attention in there. Who was the mastermind behind a lot of those great promotional ideas?
I'd say that the advice, and for us, it works in kind of a way that when we know we have to do something, we start thinking about it, and then we cook some ideas. And sometimes we tend to procrastinate until the latest moment it has to be done, like the latest promo shoot. We knew we were gonna need some photos for the album release, and we knew we had a lot of time to do them. And then and it came to like last few weeks before the release. We just said one weekend, okay, guys, today we have to do them, and we got together, and then we kind of started brainstorming from first to second to third idea. And then when you start rolling the ball, you end up with some good shots. And also we had some ideas pre-planned that when we recreated them, it didn't turn out as good as we thought. So we just scrapped them and went with something else that was in kind of heat of the moment on that day, and it turned out to be good. So for a lot of
But
stuff,
I think
yeah.
I think in general, what's maybe more interesting is this DIY approach. With the pictures, with the music, with the videos. We understood quite early that nobody shares the same enthusiasm for the band as us. When it comes internally from us. And we realized, we understood that quite early, and we had this luck to have Vedran in the band, who is also a professional motion graphic expert, and in general, all of the ideas we can make them true. From the graphical point of view and from the promotional part, it's very spontaneous, and you're not paying anybody to do it. You are playing around with stuff.
I love that
It's
bathroom
always
shot.
more
Oh my
organic
God.
when it comes from the band.
Yeah, we had some experience with outsourcing
What
people
shot?
to do some stuff, and that's how we realized in the start that you get hyped about the video shoot, and the guys are super cool, and then when you see the final product, it's nowhere near something that you wanted it to be. And then you come into those creative disagreeing moments where you have to just say, okay, it's gonna be scrapped all together, and then you start creating stuff yourself, or you just continue creating it by yourself, because it's hard. You have to put more time in it and hit many balls during that period. But in the end, you're pushing towards the product you're gonna be happy with, other than just giving unlimited creative freedom to somebody else that's gonna take your money, and then in the end it's just gonna say, sorry, that's what I thought, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, it's always a hard moment when it's like, I hate it, but I still have to pay you for your time. I mean, that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but we were also lucky to not just to brag ourselves. We along the way during the years met some also creative people for some video shoots and some other stuff. And then when we did first second thing with them, we just started collaborating, because we didn't have any need to find somebody else that's gonna do it, because if you click once and second time, brainstorming a music video and it turns out great, you just third time you also reach out to the same person, and you just continue the journey.
I love the one with you guys in the cars. Like you're all racing. How in the world did you get that to come to life?
Yeah, that was also I mean, for this album, I did the most music videos for the band, but I had some free time on my hands, and the idea came. How did it came together?
With the
Yeah,
honking. The idea
yeah, yeah.
the idea
The
came from the riff. The riff is it's like honking, you know, in the
Ah,
car. And it reminded us on
waiting.
some traffic jam, you know, and then we brainstormed. It's actually on green screen, you know. It was we were sitting. Vedran made like this small wooden steering wheel, and we were all sitting like crazy people in front of the green screen for 4 hours each.
oh yeah.
and Vedran wrote a whole script, do this now, do that now, uh,
Nice.
yeah, it was so funny that, and it's so good also for the kids that one guy on tour now, when we played in Germany, he asked us to take a photo with all of us together, that his kid is sure that we are alive, that we were not crushed by, by this pressing machine, and that Vedran is not blown into pieces. And the kid was so happy that to see us alive, you know.
Yeah,
Well, you don't think of these things when you make a video that a child's going to be concerned about your
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
yeah. That's the fun part with our music videos that have crazy stories inside them that everybody sees something else and finds it interesting and funny in some other way. That's why we also, with our creativities, we never thought of creating, like how do you say, those typical band videos where band is playing and you have some random B-roll. So we strive to create as much as we can interesting moments in our music videos. So there's also another element that people hook up to and find something interesting to see other
Yeah,
than listening to a
like
song.
best bridge ever. In this video is literally going through a bridge, and there is a sign, best bridge ever, and it's also a bridge in the song.
Yeah, it's kind of an Easter egg internally. When everybody saw it, it was laughing. But sometimes people don't even see it and you don't care, but whoever notices it is gonna laugh hard.
That's
Hmm.
awesome. Yeah, on this
Obviously.
album, I love the one for Old Bones. There's the crazy typewriting guy is back again because he was in Duma Do Honey as well, and I think he's appeared in a couple. Is that the idea is, and I love it that he's on a typewriter and not on a laptop. It's so much more dramatic with the roll
Yeah.
going and the paper coming. And where did the idea for him come from? That like what he's typing kind of comes to life? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. The initial idea for this character was again the sound and the riff, because is on the cymbals. It really sounds like a typewriter, but it's not a
If
typewriter. And this is what reminded us of a typewriter. And this is when we started to brainstorm. Okay, we should do a video of somebody writing some story, and he's actually the trick here is that he's creating a universe around him. You know,
Okay.
that's the whole moment, and this is what we are revealing in the Old Bones video. Because if you notice at the beginning when he's typing, things are falling from heavens, you know, and things are, you know, this bar is being created. So he's actually this god of his own universe, and he's creating all of these scenes and writing stories, and it really needs to go with the music. And we found this guy. First of all, he's very he looks great, you know, like charismatic with this yellow mustaches, and we simply needed to have him appearing in our other videos. And this is from the director who won a couple of awards for this Dumadu Hani video. He won an award in Croatia for best music video that year, for example. And we were really happy to bring him back to life, this character and this director. And this year he will send it also to some festivals, and we will see what happens. And we brainstormed together again. It's always the band is heavily involved in the idea.
You don't often see somebody at a bar drinking coffee typing. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually drinking tea, so
Okay.
It sounds like the riffs kind of drive a lot of the creativity. Do you guys get the riffs from just jamming together for long periods, or like does everybody kind of have their own hard drives with riffs on them, or how do you put the songs together?
yeah, I'd
We
say
mostly
that's
bring them.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, you can
Yeah,
answer this one.
it's combination of both where I mean, I'm the drummer. I don't come up with any riffs, but Nikola and Branimir are the ones that sometimes find something interesting at home. Then they bring it to a rehearsal, and we jam it out once, and then maybe revisit it two, three more times. And if we find an interesting thing around it together, we just store it in our database, and then maybe like a month later, when we have two more pieces, we just realize they can fit together, and then we kind of tinker a bit more about the whole concept, and then you just have like a blocked out song that we also store, and we collect those, and then we, like, I don't know, when we think we have enough, we just kind of draw a line and see what we have in that database and filter it more, refine it, and just there comes up the final list for the album. So it's kind of a redo process from the start, and a lot of things that we jam like today, they sound great, but there could be a year or two where we find the second part that it fits to, because in our early days our method was, oh, this sounds great, this part, and this sounds also individually, and then we just put them together, and then it took us some time to realize that not all individual good sounding parts are gonna produce a good song. So you have to filter and think in the whole concept of a whole song. So you have to be kind of strict on passing thing to a next level, because maybe some part is good on itself, but you need to find the fitting rest of the song for it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Understood. It sounds very mathematical.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's done on a whiteboard, so
Yeah.
we always have a whiteboard, and we are typing, writing down how many times each part goes, and in which time signature is it, and
yeah, but I'd say that the whiteboard is there to help us communicate together, because when we have some kind of riff, one of us is seeing the one unit as like a bigger part, one of us is counting the smaller parts, and then when you have a whiteboard, you just like draw it out, so everybody sees the same thing, and it's easier to compose the whole thing. Because if you say we're gonna do this 8 times, everybody thinks 8 times something else. So
yeah, but once we pull out the whiteboard, it's we all agree that it's time to make a song out of that jam. Because otherwise, if we don't pull out a whiteboard, we would simply jam for another half an hour. we would never make a song. We are quite jammy band.
That's funny. I remember I interviewed Ty Tabor from King's X years ago, and he said, I asked him like how he was doing with writing the next album, and he said the strangest thing, he goes, I've got 2 songs done and I've got 5 that are almost good. And I was just what you're saying kind of reminds me of that, where it's like there's 5 pieces and 2 that we finished, and we got to find the way to make the 5 that are not good yet almost good, So.
yeah, and it's kind of the problem with that right now. We are you know, working on the stuff for a new album, and you have to remind yourself what have you created in the past year or two when you had spare time. You were just throwing out ideas, and then we also just use the phone, record it, so it's not forgotten. Because sometimes we had those good moments and nobody pressed record on a phone, and then it's lost forever.
Yeah.
So
God.
you got to be
How did we
careful with
survive
that.
without phones, you know, for creativity, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really we rely so much on technology. Mark and I use Google Docs, and that way we can both be in the same document, you know, tweaking each other's ideas and stuff. And it's kind of like a whiteboard in virtual space, except he can be at work and I can be at work, and we're working on our work, you know.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
You always
but
delete Mark's stuff, admit it.
I'll think of things and I'll just email myself an idea for like a joke or something. And sometimes after I've been drinking, the next day I don't know what the hell I sent myself. Like I'll be like, what is grocery store cheerleader? What is that? I can't remember why it was funny. Whatever, you know. So that's funny. Yeah.
So I know we had a little bit of track specific questions on this
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, definitely.
Zapaxia, what does that mean?
It's Zapaxia is when you put two words together. It's Zep is from Led Zeppelin, and Axia is ataxia. It's a project of John Frusciante and Josh Klinghoffer and Flea, I think, in one of the moments when they were jamming. They had a band called Ataxia or Ataxia, I don't know how to pronounce it. And we simply our intro riff sounds like a Zeppelin riff, and like it's stuck, you know, like a DJ when it's stuck.
Okay,
And this is the Zeppelin part, like just a teaser of a Zeppelin riff, and then it's this. It reminded us of energy of this band, Ataxia.
yeah, the name for the song came first, and then we just took it
And
for the
then we
name of
liked
the
it,
album.
yeah. We took it
Because
for
it's
the
kind
name,
of a
yeah.
unique name that when you Google, there's nothing similar, and you know you always have to think about those search engines when you create something.
Yeah.
And it's also a
Yeah.
cool word, and we are glad that all English-speaking people are pronouncing it as we imagined it, because there's always some possibility that it's going to be pronounced differently in the, you know, English world. So that's a win for this album.
How does it sound to you? What does it remind you of?
The riffs are almost a little eerie to me, the way they kind of are distorted, and it kind of like it creates kind of like some eerie effect, kind of like Twilight
No,
Zone.
I meant the words, Apaxia, just the
Oh,
word.
I was trying to, it almost sounded like alliteration to me. So I knew it must be some term for language, but
Okay.
it's such a beautiful word. You know, Edgar Allan Poe was always big on the way words sound. Like cellar door was one of his favorite words because it just flows, you know. And I think it's really important, and it's such an interesting sounding word. But again, if you Google it, and this is good, it only comes up with your album. But I was like, wow, it's such a neat sounding word. It has to have a meaning.
I thought it sounded like some sort of a cleaner.
Yeah.
Spray some
worried.
Zapaxia on it. And
Exactly. We were worried that it sounds like a medicine or something like that. You know, like
Pharmaceutical.
yeah, that was
pharmaceutical,
what
yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Oh no, take Zapaxia once a day.
That's right. It
Don't
could be
worry
a
about
drug
it.
too. All the side effects. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a similar medicine. I don't remember the word now, but it's something for female hygiene. It's something very embarrassing. You know, it's something for
Yeah,
the
and I don't know.
vagina.
I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys have this in your part of the world, but in the United States, the drug ads are always on for whatever the drugs are, and it's 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 comical because they have to list out the side effects, and it'll be for like dry skin, and one of the side effects will be suicidal thoughts or actions.
Or death.
Right. And I'm just like,
Tumors
for
are
dry,
possible.
for dry skin, you're willing to risk suicidal actions? I mean, just I don't know. It's crazy. So
We don't have those statements, but our law says that at the end of the commercial there always has to be that statement, and in the most commercials it's sped up because they want to use
Oh,
more
right.
airtime on the commercial, and then
Right, you don't
it's
want to
Yeah,
get
like
yeah.
it's funny. So,
but
пояснил вторую индикацию.
it's always the same sentence, but some commercial have it faster, slower, female, male, so it's always funny to see which one is it
Yeah.
or how they recorded it. So yeah.
So I also didn't know what like Derndusa meant, but when I Google it, like women's profiles come up. So is that a woman's name?
No, actually, it's this one we didn't translate to English. It's a Croatian word, and we left it on purpose because we like it. We liked it so much. You know, this names of the songs which come first. You know, and afterwards maybe as you are jamming and you have to remember the song somehow.
Working
And
names, yeah.
working names, yeah. And this Drndusha in Croatian, it means something which makes you dance. You know, it's some which makes you shake your butt. You know.
Well,
Okay.
actually,
Yeah,
it's not a common word. It's some kind of
Yeah.
abbreviation that we came up. So if you open the dictionary, there's not gonna be that word stated as something, but
Yeah, it's not
you can
official. It's
think
not an official word.
it reminds you of something, like Nicola explained, something that's moving you, or you know, some other connotations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a working name that was then just put on album as a final name.
And someone is named that because their profile came up. I was like, no, I didn't want you.
Okay.
Well,
Cool.
we'll have to find out who it is because we'll see.
Also, I love the name Cake Crisis Resolved. And I love how this one really changes up the tempo. But when I was reading the lyrics, it was shaped by the strings, new life, dead. Are you going to call me name? Then I'm going to suffocate. So I'm like, where's the cake?
Um, the cake is it's a funny story because we have in the last album we had the names of the songs were always characters like Dancing Maze is Ray's Dancing Maze, and then there is also this one song, it's Chris's Cake Crisis. And this cake crisis, you know, this sugar rush is resolved now on this album with this song because it's this beginning with the tempo changes. It's still, you know, this sugar rush. It represents this crazy sugar rush, and then the song goes to let's say a normal pace, like a stoner riff, and that represents the resolvement of of the cake crisis. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of a play on words
Resolution,
also.
sorry, resolvement
Yeah,
is not the word. Sorry, it's hard for us because it's not our mother language. So
That's okay.
no, you just say
Pretty much
it's late Sunday, so it's a better excuse. Oh yeah, but the album before this one, it had, as Nicola said, Chris's Cake Crisis song named, and this was a perfect fit to just, you know, tie this name to the previous album and have kind of story.
It kind of reminded me of, you ever know the song Cake by the Ocean? It's kind of like a dancey pop song. But originally they were talking about sex on the beach, but they were talking with some foreign friends and they forgot it. And they're like, you know, instead of saying sex on the beach, they went cake by the ocean, and that became the song.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with us, it's again the music, you know, it's not so much from the lyrics. Yeah.
It's neat the way you guys put your. We've interviewed a lot of bands. I haven't really come across one that kind of assembles their music the way you guys do. You're kind of in your own world. It's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the thing that keeps us going after all those years, because you accept the music part, every one of us has something else that's incorporating in the whole process, and it's always fun to have.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to have fun on multiple levels. So yeah, like when we get to the part for the visuals or the names of the song, we also give give ourselves some time and think about it and have fun if we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Why not?
but really for us, it's a way to fight, let's say, all of this generic bullshit we are surrounded with, you know. Even sometimes we notice this in some of the festivals where we play, you know, especially on a stoner festival or a metal festival. All of the bands, they sound quite similar, you know, and the
Yeah.
ideas come from the same Black Sabbath or Caius or stuff like that, you know, and it's like we purposely want to challenge that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you guys live. What do you like with a live show?
Even better. Yeah, there's
Um,
we were eager to do this tour this year because you notice really fast that the live gigs is the thing that's engaging the most with the new audience and existing ones. So we are always pro for more gigs is equals better, you know, everything. Because you have the merch, you have the live experience, you have the you know personal engagement with people, and also when you just crank your amps as loud as you're allowed to in some
Right.
venues, the kind of decibels and just represents your music even better than some, you know, listening on your headphones or something like that.
so when you record, do you record kind of together as one instead of like, say, laying down the drum tracks? Okay, that's done. Laying down this and then putting it together.
We've done this for first two albums. We recorded them live, and then we just afterwards we added the vocals. And this was a good experience because we could really, let's say, be free from the metronome and all of this. Let's say even the time in the studio, you know, when it's done by somebody else. You always have this aspect of, you know, of being a little bit nervous because you are paying for the studio and stuff like that.
All right.
So we've done the first two albums live, also because of this like the economical aspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it turned out really good. And these last two albums were done, you know, like really how you
Separate tracks,
normally separate
Yeah.
tracks. You first did the drums and everything. But what's interesting is we have this tempo changes. So we even bothered this time to write the metronome as it's slowing down, even to have the metronome even in that places, you know, as it goes around. So it was quite challenging to do it, but we actually the Branimir, our bass player, he wanted to do it like this, you know, as much as possible. Even though live we change it quite a bit, you know. We play even more live with because you can imagine all of this changes and the ideas. They're even more how to say pronounced and enhanced live. We slow down even more live, you know, just to tease the audience.
Yeah, that's also a good thing with concerts and live gigs where we recorded some song on the for the album, and then playing it live, you just kind of polish it even more, and some parts become, you know, you see on one show what's resonating, then you kind of improve it in that aspect, and that's also why we like to play live.
What percentage of your crazy ideas comes from weird dreams? All I could think of with Dolly's wedding, with Dolly Parton shaving monkeys, that sounds like one of my whacked out dreams. Where I'd be like, you couldn't believe what I just dreamed.
That's me, I have to admit, and it's really good that you mentioned this. A lot of the ideas, also for music videos, come from my dreams. There is this one, the best one. We still didn't. We never recorded the best one because it's too demanding. It's I had a dream once because I was really nervous on flying the next day, and I had a dream that I abandoned my password too much just before giving it to the officer, on the border check, and in order to the picture was completely distorted, and in order to look like the person on the picture, I gave a password, and I've done this. And then it goes further, and you do this, let's say, and they let you through, and when you go inside the plane, everybody looks like this, and stuff
funny.
like that, stuff like that is inspiration. It was inspiration for one of our videos also. So yeah, I'm that guy who's writing the lyrics, and
Yeah,
sometimes I bring the ideas
I'm pretty
to the
jealous of
video.
Nicola's dreams because I had dreams before and now I don't dream as much. But and when we're talking about some ideas, he just has like a whole list of those crazy things that most of the times just translate to great content.
Yeah.
God, I waited tables for a long time, and I still have dreams where I have to like take a tray of drinks, but to get it to the table, I have to like go across a pool this deep, and I'm trying to get, and everything I do, it's like I can't get this order out, and it's this craziness.
Yeah, I have those kind of dreams, not the funny ones like Nicola.
Right.
The repetitive, traumatic ones.
All
Yeah.
right, so we have a game on the show. So since there's two of you, I have 100 random questions in front of me. So I want each of you to pick 3 numbers between 1 and 100.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll go with 8, 69, obviously, and 73.
73. Okay, Nikolai.
Do you have 0?
No, it starts with 1.
Okay, then I'll take 1, 66, and 99.
These are very numbers driven men. So let's get it right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with 8. Be honest. How do you feel about the Kardashians?
We had some coverage on them here in Croatia, and when it's all popped and became, with the Kardashians show, we kind of knew what was happening, but to be honest, for the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know how many years, I have no clue what's going on. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on to 69. How much time do you spend reading labels at the food store?
No time, and I'm not proud with it.
You just throw it in the cart
Like,
or what?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
tell me.
if it's something new that you never bought, you gotta be the one in the shop. Yeah, how it has 0
Right.
point something % of something, but the current stuff and the daily stuff you buy, just the price, no small
Right.
letters on the label.
All right, so then we're off to 73. What is something that you do that other people might consider really weird?
Should it be related to music or?
Anything really. Yeah.
I try
Good
to think
questions.
to think of something that's related to music. Oh yeah, it's the thing I do when I play drums. I always hum just some random note. It's like, and well, it's not a good answer because sometimes I think it's weird, but I do it just subconsciously, and I think that most people when they would hear like the behind the drums thing that goes on in my head. They would think I'm crazy, but I just do it on some kind of subconscious level. I'm probably thinking that I'm singing the song as a drummer, and it just goes and like
It's
we
really
had a
funny because we had problems with that during recording. There was something humming, and we thought it was the floor tom, because it was so deep. He has a really deep voice, and then and when we turned up the volume so hard, we understood it's him. It was so funny. We were laughing for half an hour.
Yeah, but if you stop me in the middle of some song and ask me, were you humming? I would not be sure because it happens so spontaneously or subconsciously that I'm not even aware of it.
Right.
And when the situation in the studio happened, when we realized it was me humming, I was like, okay, how are we gonna fix that for the recording from now on? Because I have no intention to do it. So how am I gonna stop myself from doing it? So yeah, pretty weird thing.
It was like your moment of zen, like, oh.
Yeah, it's something in my brain. I don't know what.
Yeah, I make some kind of sound when I'm really enjoying food, and Stace knows it, and she'll say, "You made your yummy sound." So I know it was really good when I made, and I don't know what it
Like,
is.
made him dinner and the noise
I
comes.
don't know the noise. I don't know what the hell I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, it's
She knows it. So yeah.
the same thing probably when I'm really grooving and thinking that I played good section. That's
Yeah.
when I hum. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikolai, you are up. Number one, what is the worst vacation that you ever had?
First vacation. It was 3 years ago when my daughter was born, 2.5, something like that, in the summer, because I started to have some stomach problems, and I couldn't eat anything. I really needed to be on a diet, and we were on a beautiful, coastal part, and I wanted to enjoy myself, but I discovered I have some this stomach issues,
No, that's never good
and
when you're
it was
traveling.
quite serious, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were
So
eating
yeah, and
toast the
it
whole
was
vacation?
probably induced by not sleeping, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Sucks.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The last time we had this question, do you remember?
Hmm.
We were interviewing this band, and they're a couple, and the singer was
Oh.
the female, and she said, "It was a trip that my husband booked. I'm sorry, Nika, but it sucked. I know you tried." It actually almost created like an argument. It was hilarious, right? She listed out all the things that he booked that were wrong, and she would have done them differently. It was great. Yeah. So
Yeah, my daughter and her fiance went to Bali on this big 2-week trip, and there's something you can Google it. It's called Bali belly that you get from kind of local food because you're not used to the bacteria and stuff that's in there. And they actually had to have this guy called Mr. Jabba come up and rub her fiance's stomach and do some weird stuff and make some weird witch doctor tea, but it worked. I don't
all
know.
this is on film. Yeah, really
I know.
weird. Yeah.
Bizarre.
Very weird.
All right, so we are up to number 66. If you had a time machine, what period would you go to visit?
Probably future, because I'm really curious. I'm quite positive about the world, not like most of the people. Most of the people are thinking that we're all going to die out of nuclear wars and pollution and stuff like that. But I think the world is getting a better place step by step, and I would like to see that if this came true or not. And maybe it would be just maybe 100 years in the future, not too much.
I think we're more resilient than we can imagine. Every time I see a frickin' weed growing in the middle of the street through a crack, I'm like, look how persistent life is. And I think we're the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be more
Yeah.
practical than Nicole. I would
Cool.
just go back in time and buy some like a bunch of Apple stock or something like that. That's how
Capitalism.
I see that opportunity. Just go back, make some money, and then continue.
There you go.
Right
Yeah,
now with
very
no
practical.
extra, insights
Yeah.
of the cultures and stuff like that. Just money.
All right, Nikolai, your last one. Is there a song that, in your opinion, where the remake is better than the original?
Oh, sure. I actually grew up listening to Nirvana. Um, I'm 90s slash zero. How do you call this? Years 00.
Millennium.
And I yeah, Millennium, yeah. And I really like Man Who Sold the World, the acoustic version of Kurt Cobain, of David Bowie.
Yeah.
And to me, it sounds more magical than the David Bowie version. And that's the first one which comes to my mind.
I always like a remake that's completely different.
Yeah.
Just they ripped it out and put it back together, and that's what I like.
Do you guys do any covers?
No, not really. Not
I
really.
think it would be interesting, like if you guys did like a Taylor Swift cover or something and turned it inside out. I think that would be great. Yeah. Just an idea,
We have
Billie
sometimes
Eilish song, something.
sometimes we have fun on in the rehearsal room, and then we just the bassist or some of us starts playing the most cliche riffs from those songs that you don't want to play, and then we just like 1 or 2 minutes we just play through it and then kind of over exaggerate the typical parts. I don't know why we sometimes we do it and it's funny for us, but that's all that we have in our book of covers.
Yeah, that's what we need, is a Taylor Swift song with that like 5/8 time signature, like in Jerry's bacon flavored vegan potion. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Shake
We
it
can
off.
we can
Shake,
we
shake,
can
shake, shake, shake,
yeah, we
shake,
can
shake,
try
shake,
and
shake.
say that some of our songs are covers that don't sound to like anything else, but if you want to, we can pretend.
Yeah.
So you just got done a bunch of shows in April. What did your set lists look like for those shows? And do you have a most memorable show from the batch you just did in April?
The songs are a mix, or they're mostly from Zepaxia. We took because it was a promo tour of Zepaxia. But we start with some older songs from previous albums just to get warmed up, and then the middle of the concert is just all Zepaxia, and then we finish up with a couple of our classics like Sandstorm, Gods of Time, Duma Duhani, and Red Drum. This is because it finishes really intensively. And the best show was in Germany on Friday in Nuremberg. This was a club which can fit around 200 people, and it was packed. And we were there before, so people knew us from a couple of years before, and they knew the songs, and they were dancing throughout the whole concert, which is really for us rare because usually we are quite obscure band, and usually when we play everybody's really thrilled but confused because they're not prepared. They don't know. They don't know the songs from before. They maybe just know one or two songs, but these guys knew more songs, and it was awesome. Really, we stayed until 4 a.m. Just to sell the merch. People wouldn't let us go, so it was best. It was the best.
Yeah, it's the best feeling when it hits you by surprise. You're just okay. Today we are playing here, and it starts filling up. We were the headliner, so the third band, and then you go on the stage, and the audience is great, and there's some communication on everything fits, and after the show everybody's happy, you are happy, they are happy. So yeah, great feeling.
Yeah. And Germany is really a really good country to play in general. This kind of music. It's people are listening to records there. They're quite knowledgeable about music. We were surprised by some of the fans. Going into the detail after the concert, asking us about particular parts of songs. They're quite on a higher level, let's say, than what we are used to.
I've had
Yeah.
some bands have told me that in Germany that people have come up to them and said, "You didn't play my wife's favorite song." Like that's how intense they are.
Yeah, they are quite.
I can see that
We have
happening.
this is a big problem. You've not played my wife's favorite song,
Do it again. Go back.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I'd love to get you over here someday. I think you would have a lot more people singing along.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. Very original, very creative. I love it. So
Yeah, we're going with the
no
flow.
AI of them. There is no AI version of them Moose Rush. And it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna be hard to train that model.
Right. You'll break
But
the internet trying to
Yeah,
do
there's
that.
a lot of data on it, but it's hard to be trained like we are.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I like to say it, what I was starting to say. It's like we go with the flow as three of us, wherever we end up. I think we are always happy that we are there because we do this firstly for us, then second comes the audience and people. So as long as we are happy with what we produce and the shows and stuff like that, we're gonna be happy with overall picture. So who knows in future what's coming.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.